There are a number of processes by which words are formed, and used to enrich, as well as expand the lexicon of a language. These processes are known as word formation processes, and what follows is an explanation of 25 of them with some practical examples of each, to help you understand the processes better. Compounding. This is a word formation process that entails the combination of two or more words to create a new word. For example, douche plus bag, douche bag, bunch plus up, bunch up, scuba plus diving, scuba diving. Blending. This is a word formation process that involves the fusion of parts of two words to form a new word. For example, breakfast plus lunch, brunch, motor plus hotel, motel, smoke plus fog, smog. Acronym. This is a word formation process that requires the creation of a word from the initials of the words in a phrase. For example, radar, radio detection and ranging, laser, light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation, scuba, self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. Abbreviation. This word formation process envisages the shortening of a word and placing a full stop at the end of the word. For example, rep, representative, col, colonel, RTD. Retired. Back formation. This word formation process requires the creation of a new word by removing an affix from the end of the word. For example, bankrupt, bankruptcy, burgle, burglar, endear, endearment. Conversion. This word formation process involves changing the class of a word without changing the form of the word. For example, Facebook, noun, Facebook, verb, Will Smith. Noun, Will Smith, verb, airdrop. Noun, airdrop, verb. Clipping. This word formation process involves a reduction in the properties of a word without adding a full stop at the end. For example, ad, advertisement, cap, capsule, bot, robot. Reduplication. This is a word formation process that entails the repetition of a word of part of a word, usually for rhythmic effect. For example, crisscross, hodgepodge, fancy Nancy. Borrowing. This is a word formation process that requires the movement of words from one language into another. For example, sushi, Japanese, kindergarten, German, déjà vu, French. Calc, loan translation. This is a word formation process that involves the translation of a foreign phrase into a language word for word. For example, flea market, from French marque aux puces, skyscraper, from French gratte-ciel, beer garden, from German Biergarten. Eponym. This is a word formation process that requires the derivation of a word from person's name. For example, sandwich, from Earl of Sandwich, Fahrenheit, from Gabriel Fahrenheit, Braille, from Louis Braille. Onomatopoeia. This is a word formation process that involves the creation of words by imitation of sounds. For example, buzz, sizzle, chirp. Affixation. This is a word formation process that entails the addition of a prefix or suffix to a base word. For example, un plus happy, unhappy, quick plus ly, quickly, dis plus appear, disappear. Coinage, neologism. This is a word formation process that involves the creation of new words from inexistent ones. For example, Kleenex, Google, Xerox. Derivation. This is a word formation process that involves the creation of new words by adding affixes to word. For example, happiness, happy plus ness, national, nation plus al, movement, move plus ment. Portmanteau. This is a word formation process that involves the blending of multiple words to form a new word. For example, spork, spoon plus fork, blog, web plus log, glamping, glamorous plus camping. Retronym. This is a word formation process that entails the creation of a new term for an older object or concept to differentiate it from a newer one. For example, analog watch, after digital watches, acoustic guitar, after electric guitars, landline, after mobile phones. Hypocorism, this is a word formation process that involves the reduction of a person's name to indicate endearment. For example, Liz, Elizabeth, Rob, Robert, Betty, Elizabeth. Aphoresis, this is a word formation process that requires the removal of a letter or syllable from the beginning of a word to form a new word. For example, squire, from esquire, cab, from taxicab, loan, from alone. Apocope, this is a word formation process that entails the removal of a letter or syllable from the end of a word. For example, photo, from photograph, demo, from demonstration, gym, from gymnasium. Keen to speak American English confidently? Or maybe you want to ace the US citizenship test? Then American English, Grammar for English Learners by Dr. Jean Robert Lane is your perfect guide. In this book, you'll discover English phonology basics, learn the sounds of English with clear guidance on pronunciation using the International Phonetic Alphabet, IPA. 8 essential parts of speech, get a firm grasp on English grammar essentials with examples and exercises to build a strong foundation, practical and thematic vocabulary, gain conversational vocabulary and specialized terms for different professions, making language learning relevant and real-world ready. Reading and conversation practice, build your skills with short stories and practical conversations that are immediately useful. Citizenship Test Guide, all the essentials for passing the US citizenship test are right here, with practice answers included. With a clear, accessible approach and real-world examples, this book is ideal for learners at any level. Start your journey to fluency and make your American dream a reality with the guide that's as comprehensive as it is easy to understand. Click the link in the description to grab your copy of American English, Grammar for English Learners by Dr. Jean Robert Lane. Now, we get a small affiliate commission each time you make a purchase, and don't worry, it comes at no extra cost to you. Meta-analysis, this is a word formation process that involves a change in the structure of a word due to misinterpretation leading to the formation of a new word. For example, newt, from a newt, apron, from an apron, nickname, from a nickname, acorn. This is a word formation process that involves the creation of new words from misheard phrases. For example, coleslaw, for coleslaw, old-timer's disease, for Alzheimer's disease, mute point, for moot point. Nominalization, this is a word formation process that entails the conversion of verbs or adjectives into nouns. For example, refusal, refuse, decision, decide, improvement, improve. Verbing, this is a word formation process that involves the substitution of nouns into verbs. For example, to text, text, to Google, Google, to friend, friend. Antonomasia, this is a word formation process that entails using a proper name to refer to a generic idea or characteristic. For example, Einstein, for a genius, Adonis, for a very handsome man, Judas, for a traitor. So word formation processes and the various ways we enrich the vocabulary of a language by creating new words. Some of them include conversion, reduplication, clipping, back formation, affixation, etc. Under these word formation processes will better inform you on the techniques people apply in the process of forming new and innovative words, as well as how you can apply them in forming new words yourself. See you soon.